Hello and welcome to Sonar Sport, your home of Solent Kestrels basketball. You are joined with me, Samuel Williams, and my co-host, Riven Corbett, here in the Solent Sports Complex for the first of today's doubleheader between the Solent Kestrels and the London Cavaliers. Of course, the Solent Kestrels men's looking to clinch the NBL Division 1 title later today against Kohler. Of course, one of the teams that managed to beat the dominant Kestrels this season. But first of all, we do have the women's game with the Kestrels and the Cavaliers. Riven, what can we expect today?
I mean, it's a difficult test for the Kestrels today, as put out on the table. A title win is very unlikely for them today. They have to get other results elsewhere to go their way. But it's just about beating the team that's in front of you. I don't think the title will necessarily play in the back of their mind the whole time. I think it will just be about getting the win or the result, and making it as difficult as possible for Barking to come away with the league title.
Yes, well, Barking at the top of the table, they're playing the London Thunder at the moment. Of course, the two London sides are going to be tightly contested. However, Barking Abbey do look like favourites against that London Thunder side. It's going to take quite a lot for this Kestrels to not only win this game today, but also come away with a title at the end of this, with Barking Abbey's lead at the top.
Yeah, Barking Abbey have been a bit on a tear, and obviously the Kestrels are in great form so far since the turn of the year. But I think it's just about, like I said, solidifying the win today. Barking Abbey kind of out of their minds, and just getting the result on the board and propelling the fans for the rest of the day ahead into the men's game.
Yes, well, the men's game will be tipping off at 6 o'clock here in the Solent Sports Complex. You are joined with me, Samuel Williams, and Riven Corbett down here in Southampton. The players are just making their introductions onto the court. And of course, we have our very own cheerleaders here at the Solent Sports Complex, our very own Solent Ravens as well. So please do join in for the halftime show. And the players are just huddling up at the moment. We are just about to get underway with 4 minutes listed on our scoreboard. And I'll go into conversations whilst we're waiting here, Riven, at the moment. Of course, the men's game, we don't want to get too focused on that because we've got this first women's game, and this could be a big occasion as well. But what are you expecting against a team like Kohler, who have shown they can beat this Kestrels team?
Yeah, I mean, the Kohler result somewhat was an outlier in the Kestrel season, I think. A great first half away from home. Second half, it got away from them a little bit. But now, you know, coming down the second half of the season, final 2 games, players back in the squad. They were missing a couple of players in that previous Kohler game. It's a revenge fixture, and with a win today, they'll win the league. So that's kind of the driving force for them today. I'm sure loads of the players are up for it, especially the younger ones. Get the result on the board and yeah, make an occasion out of it.
Absolutely, and we can have conversations all day about that last game at Barking Abbey. What a close, tight affair. Or at the Barnet Bulldogs, should I say. What a tight, close affair. 2 shots at the end of that game, unable to be made. A 64-62 win for the Kestrels. Such a tight affair. And that could be the difference maker in the table.
Yeah, I think we were watching it on the live stream, and it got so... I guess in those moments you can get so tense. It's all about those moments down the stretch. Kestrels had that dominant first half. Down the stretch it got closer and closer and closer. It came down to the last 2 shots. Barnet missed it, and that could end up meaning they lose the title. But for the player that missed the shot, it's not about remembering the moment. It's remembering the season they've had, because they've had a great season of Barnet. And the Kestrels as well, obviously. But that moment could end up meaning the Kestrels come away with the league title.
Well, last game of the regular season is today. Of course, the playoffs are coming ahead. Of course, Kestrels also National Cup winners, so that confidence that they won up in Worcester against Manchester Magic will be carried on to those playoffs to show they can play knockout basketball. Back to the conversation also at hand, though, with the Kestrels women. We've got this game first, and certainly first and not least this game. I want to talk about, of course, at the beginning of the season, a few wins here and a couple of losses there. But I feel like the Kestrels women's side have picked up. They've gotten a bit of momentum and they've won the past few games. What would you say that attested?
I think good coaching across the board. You know, knowing when to put certain players in. You know, Meal especially off the bench, making the clutch threes, making the difference, making momentum-wise. You know, making tough decisions on who to start, when, and where, depending on the matchups and whatnot, and who would fit a specific game. And knowing that you can drop your bigger players. You know, we've seen a couple of times this season Mendez being dropped to the bench, whereas last year she'd be the focal point offensively. So, you know, knowing when to drop Anna or rest Anna, or the likes of Faith McDowell, you know, give her a bit of a break offensively, because she's put an absolute tear on since Christmas, Faith McDowell did. But I think the coaching across the board and the players, you know, you've got to give credit to the players, you know, putting on an impressive performance and fighting for those rebounds, the nitty-gritty stuff. Kestrels have put on a show since Christmas.
Yes, a show indeed, and a show we've got for you here today at the Solent Sports Complex. A decent crowd in here, of course. It is going to get busy as the day moves along, but we are 35 seconds away from tip-off. Solent Kestrels in the white and red strip, with the London Cavaliers in all black, looking to make an upset here away from home. Of course, Solent Sports Complex is not an easy place to come to for either of the opponents of the women's and the men's side. So we'll have a look at the lineup for the Cavaliers side. And to start, they will have Morrissey, Bush, Ehrman, and as soon as the other players turn their backs, we'll be able to find out. And the starting five, we'll move on to the starting five for the Solent Kestrel. Kukowski, Bula, Nawabisi, Bentley, and McDowell. We move over to the court action here at the Solent Sports Complex, as the referee's just making the final adjustments for the game to be underway. And a bit of a smaller lineup from the Kestrels here. Bentley looking to take the centre stage here on the tip-off, it seems.
We saw it last week with the Kestrels lineup. You know, a bit more pace isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. You know, it made that impact early, fast break opportunities and slowed down the away side, and probably aiming to do that. So today you maybe be a bit detrimental on rebounds, but on the face of it, but not really. You know, you have Bentley a lot of the time fighting for those rebounds. You see her going up for the tip. You know, it's just about fighting for the ball when the ball's there to be won, and this lineup sort of demonstrates that.
And here we go, Solent Kestrels, London Cavaliers, and we are underway. Agbula collects off of the tip from Bentley. Now Abisi on the right-hand side. McDowell tries to find Agbula on the inside, a fight for the ball, and turned over. A quick turnover to start this game, and the London Cavaliers will retain possession. Quick turnover there from the Kestrels, Riven.
Yeah, good intent. You know, quick pick and roll offense, and a bit more intent here on defense, pounding as per usual. A good roll there and good cut, but McDowell picks off and will push off in the fast break. Kukowski right hand side, and good ball movement here quickly. You saw that them preparing this in the pre-game warm-up, but this time no doing as they turn over the ball once again. Not a great start so far for the Kestrels.
Yes, 2 turnovers to start the game here from both sides. They'll look to be a little bit better on the offensive end. Defense, of course, will be super important to the outcome of this game. The pass on the inside, 5 seconds left on the shot clock. The drive on the right-hand side, the layup bounces around and no good for Morrissey. Bentley up the other end. A good lay through traffic. And a great finish from Bentley there.
Yeah, I mean, when I mentioned Bentley in the pre-game talk, I think that almost demonstrates her to a T, you know, fighting until, you know, the shot goes up, and even when the shot goes up, she's still fighting. You saw her fight, watching the ball as it went up as a 3-point shot there in response. This could be a good game, Samuel Williams.
Yeah, great shot there from Morrissey. Saw a little bit of space and looked to take it. The travel called on Nawabisi. A loss of coordination and another turnover there for the Solent Kestrels.
Yeah, too many turnovers so far for the Kestrels. You know, it was always going to be a bit technical, this one, especially when, you know, a win presses the league leaders at least a little bit, so the win is a bit more meaningful. But I'm sure Keeley, the coach, has said to them before the game, just get the result over and done with firstly. As Bentley fighting for that ball once again.
And the foul. 2 shots there for Morrissey. McDowell will take the foul and Morrissey will shoot 2 at the line. Look to try and beat Morrissey to the spot there, did Faith McDowell, and maybe just leant forward on that contest. First free throw, no good, front iron.
Yeah, I think if McDowell stays on the floor there, keeps her feet planted, I don't think a foul's called. Got a bit eager and just jumped off the ground.
Agreed.
Second free throw, also no good, but fight for the rebound. Really, really good there from Bush.
And
McDowell comes away with it.
Scramble, but a foul has been called. As McDowell was just running away there with the ball, the foul has been given on Morrissey. Kukowski back inside to Nawabisi. A choke down shot and one. A tough finish. Look to draw the foul. Put the shot up anyway, and she will get one chance to make it a 3-point play.
I don't think Nwabisi knew that one was going in, to be honest. I think she was looking at the ball when she threw that one up. Turned around, puts a smile on her face. And the crowd getting behind her. Especially some of the younger players on that far-hand side. As a couple of the men's players make their way into the complex. Ready for their game later. As the free throw no good. Good press there from the Kestrels. Just like full court pressure. Making Cavaliers let it be known that the Kestrels are there to be beaten on defense. And a turnover there from the Cavaliers. And a good last few possessions here for the Kestrels.
A little bit better on the defensive end, forcing those turnovers. And if they can get more shots, like now Wabisi made one that and one, certainly luck will be on their side. And they'll need luck over at the Barking Abbey game against the London Thunder if they're going to want the result for the title. A jump ball has been called. It will be returned to the Solent Kestrels. And of course we say this every single time, but those inbounds under the basket, quite common. And you want to create the most. Get the easy lay, get the easy play, and one. Kukowski already. We're underway. 2 and 1 plays for the Kestrels, taking contact, going to the rack, and getting the buckets.
Yeah, when you're away from home, referee calls might be slightly different to the London ones. And there, I think the Cavaliers need to be careful on defense, because if you're starting to pick up these types of fouls early, you know, 3 minutes in and 3 fouls already, I'd be somewhat worried if I'm the Cavaliers coach.
Yes, agreed. And of course, we've seen Morrissey, number 7. Of course, it seems we've got a bit of a Morrissey twin situation going on
Morrissey
here.
Squared, yes.
Yes, Morrissey squared indeed. So to see one of them who has had the ball in her hands quite a few times already, 1-2 fouls, might want to keep a mind on that one. Into the corner. Great defense from Faith McDowell. Great screen there. The pass inside. The tip from McDowell. And now we're underway. Fast break for the Kestrels. Out the other end is McDowell. Great lay. Beautiful finish from Faith McDowell. 9-3 here for the Solent Kestrels. We've just gone over the 3-minute mark here in this first quarter. Morrissey for 3, no good. And now Bentley drives the ball up the court. This is what the Kestrels are best at doing. Coming down, being as fast as possible, taking advantage. No good on the finish. Great rebound and hustle there from Mulling.
For the Cavaliers here, it's about all the buckets. They matter, especially when you're down 6 early, 4 minutes into the game. You know, committed those fouls early, and now it's just about capitalising on those types of offensive 50-50 buckets, and that one not going down either. Kukowski off the window, no good. Fight for the rebound there from Agbula. Kukowski again, no good. Agbula with another rebound. She's stat padding Samuel. And then a foul called there, and it'll be a Cavaliers ball. Just unfortunate there, Agbula underneath the basket.
Well, I'm not sure about stat padding, but the hustle stats are going to be looking very good. Great hustle there from Agbula, and it's those sort of efforts that are going to help carry the Kestrels over the line. Don't get the ball, but to show that effort, to show that willingness, and to show every single time you get the ball, I'm going to be chasing after you. It's going to be a problem for this Cavaliers team. The layup no good underneath the backboard. Now Meal on the left-hand side. Kukowski now looks to set a play. Bentley, screen from Kukowski. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Riven's hand hitting the window. Off the rim, no good from Bentley. Kick out, now a BC for 3, no good. And another fight for the rebound. Every single rebound the Kestrels are fighting for. It's not going to be an easy game. And there's going to be a few bruises to come home with for the London Cavaliers.
And my finger after hitting that window. I think I was gesturing to let it be known. Meal was almost open in the corner there, and a shot could have been had as another layup missed opportunity for the Cavaliers, and the Kestrels with a chain mark. Fast break opportunity, and another foul there from Ehrman. Now sits on 2, and anger letting out there for Ehrman, and a timeout called.
Yeah, well, that's 2 players now for the London Cavaliers on 2 fouls, Ehrman and Morrissey. So that's one to look out for. And there are also 2 players who've had a little bit more of the ball. Also smaller players, but that can be a benefit in trying to keep hold of the ball and trying to make plays. That could be difficult going down the line there for the London Cavaliers.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think when you're obviously the slightly bigger team on the face of it with the starting lineup of the Cavaliers, you need your smaller players to make the plays. Especially, you know, you've seen already a couple of times Cavaliers want to drive, want to get the backdoor cuts going, and that's where you want your smaller players, the quicker players with the quick first step to make that difference, to make the market on the lineup and get some buckets underneath the basket, because it's all good hitting some jump shots here or there, but it's about making the layups when they matter. Especially when they're probably higher percentage made than your average jump shot. So if you're already worried about the likes of Ehrman and Morrissey, the number 7 one, I think also not relying on the likes of the other Morrissey who's got your only 3 points. You need to be careful that you're not relying too much on them, and you know, I'm starting to lose my train of thought, so I'll hand it back to you.
No problem at all, Riven. It's going to be a long day. London Cavaliers off to a slow start already. 3 points on the board after just over 5 minutes here at the Solent Sports Complex. You are joined with us on Sonar Sport. My name is Samuel Williams. Joined with us is Riven Corbett. Just in case you've just joined with us for the last game of the regular season, our double header of Solent Kestrels basketball. And the play is back underway. Kukowski to Bentley, back to Kukowski. Beautiful ball movement by the Kestrels. Kukowski on the inside, the pass. Agbula, easy finish. 11-3 for the Solent Kestrels. That's that ball movement. The ball always moves faster than the player, Riven.
Yeah, making use of all 24 seconds on the shot clock there. Literally 0.4, I think, on the shot clock at that point in time when the shot went up. using the, almost in slow-mo, using every little moment to get the good shot underway, and that was, using every pass and making every pass matter. Sorry, there was a brief moment where I thought Meal would get an open three. Good defense from the Cavaliers, but the extra few passes and they got the right shot up in the end.
Yeah, and it's all about finding those right shots. We've got a little bit of a pause here. I think Bush just got a little knock there trying to fight for the rebound, so we're just going to probably have a restart here.
We've got a slight break in play. I've noticed something in the crowd. I don't know. I know you're quite in tune. Sorry, with your fashion sense. If you just gander in the front row, David Chimachowski, that jumper, it's got the flowers on it. Thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen myself as a fashion guy. I'm glad you like to think of that. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. I wouldn't wear it, mainly because it's also probably a extra large, since the man is 6'6", little bit bigger than I am.
Low socks as well, I've noticed. His ankles are on show.
Yeah, and just saying that 6'6" bit, I think I'm going to realise I probably won't say much more. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's valid. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be giving all the updates on the fashion choices of the Solent Kestrels throughout the day. As we get ready to inbound the ball here, Ehrman. A big three-pointer off the catch. Bank! Straight to the bank for Ehrman. Closes it down for a 5-point lead.
That was a big check they're taken out from Lloyd's. Other banks are available, of course. But yeah, good shot there from Ehrman. Doesn't matter whether it's window, whether it's still a make. Nonetheless, there's more good ball movement here from the Kestrels. Backdoor cut after backdoor cut, and up to the top here for Nwabisi for three. Tried to bank in a response. Meal push shot from the mid-range, no good. Potentially rushed that one. And the Cavaliers are now coming down the other end. Kick out here. Bush thought about the three-point shot. Back inside. To Ruchka, no good. And another fast break opportunity for the Kestrels. Meal receives it once again. And Nwabisi now over to Bentley. Thought about the three-point shot. Jackson underneath the basket. Just too big. 13-6 here for the Solent Kestrels.
So good on that fast break and so good at moving the ball. You could see Jackson had that obvious mismatch right there on the inside with Russo, who's just taken the three-point shot. No good from the corner. And here we go again. Solent Kestrels looks like a 4-on-2 almost. Can't finish this time. Morrissey collects the rebound. And we reset here. But yeah, that ball movement's so great at finding those mismatches. And finding those mismatches on the offensive end just makes buckets so much more easier.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jackson being the taller, almost tallest player on the court now, I think finding that space inside and getting those, we talk about those easy buckets underneath the basket, and those are the ones that make the difference down the stretch. Even in the men's game, it's all about it's not all about hitting those threes. Steph Curry somewhat ruined the game of basketball in that sense, but you need to resort back to the close range buckets, and a potential other one there, no good. But Bentley will go to the line as Cavaliers player falls to the floor.
And that will be Cavaliers' 5th foul. So for the remaining 2 minutes and 9 seconds, any sort of foul by the Cavaliers will send Solent Kestrels to the line. They are now in the bonus. And it looks like a first appearance here for the Kestrels as well in Pajur. And of course Jackson with her 2-pointer underneath the basket. Bentley no good on the first free throw. Got to take advantage of these. But Cavaliers, if they're going to keep on being slow with this offensive range, maybe the Kestrels can afford to miss some of these free throws. Bentley good. 8-point lead for the Solent Kestrels. Bentley takes a break for Ana Mendes.
Yeah, Ana Mendes, like I mentioned, not had as big of a role, especially since her injury earlier in the season. But she makes the impact nonetheless. Off the bench last week, she was very impressive, albeit it was a blowout, but that second half performance from her was very impressive nonetheless. And she makes the difference. She stretches the floor a little bit, you know, sitting in the corner. And her and Mill can really start hitting threes and feeding off each other.
Ehrman to inbound. Bush over to Morrissey. Takes the screen. On the inside now. Mulling. Bounds for the Cavaliers. Another poor offensive possession. And it's turned right back over to the Solent Kestrels. 1 minute 49 remaining of the first quarter. Kick to the corner. Beautiful ball movement. Looks like a 2-3 zone set up by the Cavs. Infiltrating it from the middle, and the pass in the back door, no good from Jackson. Now the Cavaliers come up the other end. Morrissey on the right-hand side. Layup over Pagier, no good. And a scramble for the defensive rebound for all that effort, no good. Bush at the top of the key now. Drives, look to kick to Mulling, but no good. Great steal there by Ana Mendes. To the corner now is Agbula. Great action here at the Solent Sports Complex. Pass on the inside, the fadeaway jump shot, no good. Rebound collected by Bush there. You can see that 2-3 zone every single time they come up the court. The London Cavaliers are in that set, aren't they?
Yeah.
Quarter here on Sonar Sport for Solent Kestrels women basketball between the Solent Kestrels and London Cavaliers. A couple technical difficulties, but we are back underway here. 14-9 for the Solent Kestrels. And a great display by the Kestrels on both ends of the court. But some improvement to be had if they want to show a dominant display here. It does go out of bounds, and Solent Kestrels retain possession. But would you say, Riven, my analysis, I had a bit of an assessment there with that 2-3 zone. Would you say that's right about what's going well for that Solent Kestrels team with the 2-3 zone and infiltrating it?
Yeah, they know how to do it. They've faced it so many times, and you will face it so many times in the league. And it's just about finding the right passes and delayed pass there. Over to Meal for 3. You can't find it that time. But it's about that shot. They want Meal to have that 3-pointer. She can hit them. It's just about getting in that rhythm. She needs to feel that rhythm, feel the rhyme, get the shot up, because it's basketball time. I think it's just about getting the shot to go, and she can start hitting them throughout the game.
Riven there with the rhythm, and somebody else with a bit of rhythm to their shot. Bush for 3. Reduces the Kestrels' lead to 2 points. The Cavaliers looking a little bit better now, taking advantage. Mulling on the other end. The layup is good. We have a tie game here at the Solent Sports Complex. Solent Kestrels just let this slip, Riven.
Yeah, potentially. They need to reassure their offense with another bucket here. Push shot, mid-range shot, no good. Rebound nonetheless, Anna Mendez, and the ball flying around like a pinball machine at the moment. Tries to find the pass to Jackson, no doing there. And Cavaliers come down the other way off the window. But a foul called, I'm not sure, I didn't see the referee's hand just yet. Foul called there. Blocking Anna. A chance for Cavaliers to take their first lead in probably, 10 minutes of game time?
Yeah, an unbelievable run here from the Cavaliers. They've had an 8-0 run over the last, I would say, about 4 minutes. It was 14-16 at one. It was 14-6, should I say? Sorry, at one point, and now the lead is in London Cavaliers' favour. Great effort there. Looks like they've just been better on offense, coming down the stretch, and I think the Solent Kestrels just sometimes on those offensive possessions they've just taken those wing 3-point shots, and it's just bad decision making. 2-point lead here for the London Cavaliers.
Yeah, I think resort to, I hate to break it up again, but resort to those simple buckets, those ones around the basket. You know, you can get a mismatch here or there. I know you're up against the zone at the moment, so a mismatch is harder to find, but they're still there. You know, you see Jackson looming in that low post position, waiting to receive the pass. Don't force passes like that, but Mendez finds an opening for 3, no good. Jackson fighting for it, and the Cavaliers get another defensive rebound. And no second chance points that time for the Kestrels on offense, but a throwaway pass there and a turnover. And the Kestrels receive the ball once again. 8 minutes left in the quarter.
Yeah, not quite the turnover that the London Cavaliers are going to be wanting here in this second quarter. Just under 2 minutes played of this second quarter. Morrissey, number 4 Morrissey, as we have 2 Morrisseys for the London Cavaliers, leading the scoring. Meal on the right-hand side, the pass on the inside, bounce from Kakowski to Jackson. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. The 3-point shot off the window, no good. Mendez takes the bump, no good. Great defense there from Mulling to stay upright and get the defensive stop. Dangarem over to Bush. Ruza. Morrissey thought about the shot. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Mulling with the post moves. The fadeaway off the window. No rim. And out to Bush. Step back. Free from Bush. No good. She's feeling it from deep. Dangarem takes the screen. The 3-point shot is good. London Cavaliers a 5-point lead here at the Solent Sports Complex. An upset lead so far. Of course, Solent Kestrels looking for a title clinch, depending on other results around at Barking Abbey. But at the moment, Riven, it's not looking too good for the Solent Kestrels. A 5-point deficit with 7 minutes left of the second quarter.
Yeah, a good 3-point shot there from Dangarembga. And I think, you know, a shot like that has sort of summed up the game so far, or the last few minutes for sure, where Kestrels missing those defensive rebounds and allowing the Cavaliers to feed off of second chance points and getting the shots. And they turned what could have been a sloppy 2-point possession in the Cavaliers to a nice look at a 3, and they made the Kestrels suffer for that. And a good shot put up there from Dangaremba in the end. And now a 5-point lead in the favour of the away side.
And we've talked about all games so far about how good the Kestrels are at coming up on the fast break and getting those points. Great ball movement. But the defence, to be quite honest with you, Riven, has been kind of lacklustre. That shot shouldn't have been able to go up in the first place. Yeah,
Jackson had a mismatch as Dangaremba sort of hid behind the screen. But I think it's sort of a miscommunication inside led to that mismatch and meant Jackson couldn't fight over the screen. And you want a few of the smaller players to put the 3-point shooter off there, potentially like an Nwabisi maybe. And those shots are really not the shots you want to be giving up, especially when you've let them go on a crazy run like they have the last few minutes and stringing a few offensive possessions together. And something does need to change defensively and almost offensively for the Kestrels at the moment.
Absolutely. Well, returning to the court, we have Anna Mendes, Faith McDowell, Nwabisi, Kakowski and Jackson, as they look to clean up the mess that has quite honestly been this second quarter for the Solent Kestrels. Nwabisi, good aggression there to shake the defender off. The pass inside to Jackson, no good on the layup. It's not going on the offensive end for the Solent Kestrels. Cavaliers, Morrissey takes the mid-range shot, no good off the front iron. Collected by Jackson. And Nwabisi. Again, that 2-3 zone. Kestrels were so good at trying to infiltrate that earlier, and it doesn't seem like they're doing those necessary steps anymore. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Jackson chucks up a shot. It's good off the back of the rim. 3-point lead for the Cavaliers.
Good awareness there from Jackson to realise that the shot clock was winding down. I don't think Mendes realised and sort of forced the pass inside. Jackson noticed, put up a shot, and it ended up going in. There's a foul there called on Mendes. Got a bit too eager, saw the ball was there to be won, and just reached in and fouled on the shot attempt.
Yeah, and I really like that from Morrissey, actually. I think she was trying to almost draw the foul. I think she was reaching around with the ball on the underhand, avoiding the block. I think it wasn't so much trying to get the bucket. I think it was so much just trying to draw the foul. Would you agree, Riven?
Yeah, I think moments like that, you aren't necessarily trying to make the bucket. You almost just know the defender's going to reach in and commit the foul, and I think that was exactly that there from Morrissey.
Couple substitutions made for the Solent Kestrels. Morrison makes her first appearance of the game alongside Fossati. And Morrissey, Fossati Sharple, should I say, sorry. Morrissey lines up with her first free throw and is good. And looking to extend the lead to a 5-point game here in this second quarter. Points are few and far between in this game so far, but every bucket has mattered so far, and if the Kestrels are going to want a chance at this league title, they're going to have to take every opportunity they can. Fossati Sharples to McDowell, Kakowski, good ball movement there from the Solent Kestrels, much better. Fossati Sharples, 7 seconds left on the shot clock. They've got to get a shot up. Nwabisi for free. Good! Beautiful shot there from Nwabisi. Saw a bit of space, and cash from Nwabisi.
Yeah, not necessarily the shot they would have taken at the start of the possession. There's a long 3-point shot taken there. Cavaliers come up with the rebound and ended up giving the ball away potentially. And yeah, it'll be a Kestrels inbound. From here, it looked like it came off a Kestrel hand, but didn't get to say this last week, Samuel. We're not the referees. We're not the referees up here.
I said it, ladies and gentlemen. Riven Corbett, everybody, our co-host here on Sonar Sport. Join with me. Thank you so much for saying that, Riven. Pass inside to Morrison. The bucket, no good.
It's like Christmas for you when I get to say that almost sometimes.
Well, hopefully we're nearer to summer. Right now, Mulling on the inside, no good. Those are the buckets that are going to be necessary. Fight for the ball. Morrissey strips for Sachi Sharples. Mid-range, Mulling, great shot. 4-point game. Great effort there from Morrissey. Strip the ball. And enables the Cavaliers to get an advantageous lead. Kukowski takes the bump. The kick for Sachi Sharples for free. No good. Offensive rebound, Morrison. A fight for the ball all over the place. The block from Rusas. The pass to Mulling. The side of the backboard from Mulling. She's been so unlucky there coming down the stretch. Had she have made her last couple buckets, Cavaliers would be in a favourable position, Riven.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think 4-point lead at the moment. They'll want to extend it to the likes of 6, maybe 8. As a shot attempt there. And a foul called. And then Wabisa will head to the line. It's about those shots. Get in those positions. You can put a shot, potentially get fouled, and get a chance to head to the line. I think you started the game off so well. You now got Morrissey on 3 fouls. And that's a big talking point if you can get Morrissey onto the likes of 4, potentially foul out the game. There's a timeout called here. And break in play once again. But yeah, resort to how you started the game, putting Cavalier players on the into foul trouble, and heading to the line to get the uncontested shots up.
3 minutes 50 remaining of the first half here at the Solent Sports Complex.
Another edition of Fashion Watch here this week. A new staple, I think, of Sonar Sport potentially in the Kestrels streams.
Okay.
Elijah Lotriet's just wandered in to the courts. Simple, slightly baggy black jean cargo type thing with a baggy coat. Thoughts out of 10?
I think it's simple. I don't think it makes any socio-economic or political
impacts on the world.
And I don't think it makes any sort of voice of the voiceless or something like that. But I think it's simple. I think he comes into the arena. He's about business today, and it's a big game against Kohler, of course. 6 p.m. tip-off here on Sonar Sport. Please be joined with us for that one, as the Solent Kestrels men could clinch the NBL Division 1 title, should I say. Now Abisi will line up for 2. She will look to get her 6th and 7th point.
Oh dear. 20 years of age, by the way. First free throw, no good there from Abisi. Second free throw, slightly more high arcing, but no doing. A good rebound there from Fasati Sharples. Still has the ball in possession. Good fight. Jump ball, and it will be Kestrel's possession. 4-point game still. 3 minutes 47 left on the clock.
Now Abisi to inbound under the basket. Corner 3, Faith McDowell, no good. Collected by Morrison. Great defense there from Mulling, stays upright. And the London Cavaliers come down the other end of the floor. Morrissey, the kick onto the corner to Ruza. Much better ball movement here from the London Cavaliers. The screen from Mulling opens up space for the floater. Beautiful floater from Morrissey. The 2 Morrissey sisters. I'm making the prediction here, they're sisters.
So.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to say. But both have been on fire so far collectively. 12 points between the 2 and have been huge in gaining the London Cavaliers this 6-point lead.
McDowell, corner 3, no good. And the Cavaliers get another defensive rebound. It'll be interesting to see Kestrels maybe switch it up just before halftime, get a couple of stops and buckets to go. Talk about stops, the ball rolling all over the place, and the return of that pinball machine once again. Dreaded pinball machine. Did you ever like pinball machines, Samuel? Jury's still out.
No, it wasn't ever really my thing, Riven.
Fair. Cavaliers with possession this time. And BC tight on Morrissey there. Push shot, no good, and Medal comes up with the rebound. And the Kestrels pushing the pace as they usually do for Seth Sharples and BC. Thought about the three as Samuel now with the hand gestures inside the commentary box for Sati Sharples to three, just short. Kikowski, good rebound, good hustle there from Kikowski. Back to a 4-point game. And potentially a slimmer of hope for the Kestrels heading into halftime.
Much better there on the hustle. 4-point lead now for the Cavaliers. But no thanks to the efforts of Morrissey, who draws the foul, and she will shoot 2 at the line. Fantastic showing by both the Morrisseys here in the Solent Sports Complex. Agbula will make the substitution for Morrison here, looking to rely more on a smaller lineup. And 2 at the line could be huge here with 2 minutes left in the game. First one is good, 26-21.
You're noticing already a complete difference in the Kestrels game to last week. At this point in the game, they were somewhat leading. You know, it was a closer game last week until that second half and third quarter happened. And I think they need to bring that pace back into the offensive system, and that's why Keeley's decided to make that change where Bula back onto the court. And it's all about pushing the pace now. Bula with the ball over to Nwabisi. Into Vasati Sharples, back to Bula. Medal fakes one way, goes in the other, into the defender, and a offensive foul called there on Faith Medal, who has had somewhat of a passive start to the game with just 2 points. I mentioned how important she's been since the turn of the year, and she's having a quiet game. The Kestrels might struggle.
I think it has to be said. I think as much as the Kestrels are unlucky there on that call, I think that was just poor offense. You saw that on the zone defense. They had the ball in that pivot spot, but no cuts. And you could see the sort of confusion with all the players of what to do in that position, and came up with a null avoid, basically offensive possession, a 2-man defended floater, confusing shot there.
Yeah, as they say in basketball, no ifs, no cuts, no coconuts. And a good cut there from Kikowski to get the ball, receive the pass over to Lamas. Now McDowell this time for 3. No good off iron once again, and the Cavaliers this time are the ones pushing the pace. 3-on-1. Looping layup, no good. Ruska with the rebound. 3-point shot, also no good. And the Kestrels with the defensive rebound with 1:14 to play in the first half.
And Kestrels will want to take advantage here. Chloe Lamas from 3, no good. The fight for the rebound will go over to a London Cavaliers ball. The shots from downtown are raiding in from both sides, but no good, and still remains a 6-point game here. Just 1 minute remaining here. Morrissey. A man-to-man defense here for the Solent Kestrels. The pass on the inside, the mulling, no good. Great cut from Mulling, but can't finish. Been so unlucky this game. Had made a few more. Cavaliers would find themselves in a very favourable position on the offensive end. 36 seconds left on the clock. McDowell with the pump fake, the drive in the middle, the kick. Chloe Lamas from downtown, no good. Offensive rebound, Kikowski chucks up a shot. Nothing there. Now no difference between the shot clock and the game clock. 20 seconds left. The Cavaliers can take their time. They have the lead. They have the ball. The drive. The floater, no good. Collected by Morrissey, and a foul is called on Kikowski. And that'll be Kestrel's 5th foul. So Morrissey will line up to shoot 2. And possibly an 8-point lead going into the half for the London Cavaliers.
Yeah, it'll be a big turnaround for the Cavaliers since that opening quarter. Quite impressive showing for the London Cavaliers so far. Potentially done the scout report. They know what the Kestrels offered today. I know how to minimise their offensive system and how they play. 6-point lead and potentially even bigger heading into halftime will do them a world of good, and limiting to one of the stronger teams in the league to just 21 points in a half is quite impressive.
And of course, with the Kestrels being so high up on the table, could you call this an upset? Do you think it's an argument to be had that the Kestrels maybe today just haven't been good enough so far and need to pick it up in that second half?
Yeah, I think, the London Cavaliers are not to be messed with. They're obviously a strong team. They're there or thereabouts in the league, and they've definitely the more difficult matchup, and no disrespect to London Thunder, who are playing Barking Abbey at 5 o'clock this afternoon and will ultimately determine who wins the league. But Kestrels here need to win first to put that pressure on Barking Abbey, and so far they can't do that. Or aren't doing that at the moment, I should say.
You're absolutely right, Riven. Just under 10 seconds left here. The first free throw good from Morrissey. London Cavaliers have been good from the line so far this game, and the second is good. An 8-point lead for the London Cavaliers. 8 seconds left on the clock. Last chance saloon here for the Kestrels to get some points on the board before the half. And the travel called on for Tassie Sharples with 1 second left on the clock. That'll more than likely do it. As we play the last inbound here into Ruza, who chucks up a shot and is no good. 8-point lead here for the London Cavaliers. They have stormed into the Solent Sports Complex and taken the lead against a title-fighting Solent Kestrels women's side. Riven, what's got to be said in that half-time going into the second half to pull this back and give a chance to that title?
Yeah, something does somewhat need to be changed offensively and, as I said, defensively. They're struggling against those 2-3 zone at the moment. Finding the right passes and the opening shots, having just scored, I think, what was 7 points in that quarter. I'm not sure. I think in the end, if you're being limited to 7 points, something's not going right, and something definitely needs to change.
Yeah, something needs to change in that second half if this Solent Kestrels women's side want to be successful and give a chance towards the title, or at the very least say that they did all that they could. 29-21 for the London Cavaliers against the Solent Kestrels here at the Solent Sports Complex. It is halftime. We will be joined with you, Samuel Williams, Riven Corbett. For now, we have the Solent Ravens doing their halftime performance.
So Ravens, everybody. When you're feeling sad, Kestrels back underway here at the SSC. Huge 20 minutes of action coming up. Kestrels family, we really need you. Get behind the whole team.
Back underway here in the second half in the sports complex. 29-21 London Cavaliers. First possession there for the away side, and a turnover. Hopefully the Kestrels start this with a bit more energy, a bit more intent, and reassure themselves just a little bit. Bentley in the high post tries to find Kikowski, no doing. You already see now that the Kestrels have switched up. They're moving around their pieces on offense to get the right passes stringing together, because they didn't have that towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. In a short break, Kestrels are out very, very quickly to get the second half underway. A foul already by the London Cavaliers. But yeah, they came out quickly. I think we're expecting the Solent Kestrels to try and get some easy early buckets fast as possible. And I think also the coach would have talked through with them. She would have had a conversation about, look, guys, we need to find those cuts. We need to make those cuts in the first place. And we just saw it there. Unlucky there, but you saw again. Bentley made the cut for Kikowski. And a little bit better there from the Kestrels. And hopefully we see that continue into this third quarter. And at the top of the key, the kick inside to Bush. Beautiful pass. Great finish by Bush. Beautiful with the right-hand finish. And now Kestrels back on the other end. A double-digit lead here for the London Cavaliers. The first double-digit lead in the sports complex today. Bentley goes up again. No good. Great block there from Mulling. She's had a great defensive showing so far in this game, using that length and that reach. Mulling on the inside, and a travel is called on her. Talk to me a little bit about that travel. I think she sort of collected the ball and then extended her leg there, Riven.
Yeah, I think one foot landed before the other and then moved that foot, because ultimately it's an established pivot foot. Once you place it first, and I think she thought that she'd put both feet down at the same time, which was not the case. We talked about the zone in the first half. One thing to notice so far in the second is that the Kestrels are almost forming a pentagram shape to break down that zone. Finding their points in the high or the low post, making the cuts in the back door. Running around the whole way, and one person making those cuts is Faith McDowell, getting the 3-point shot to go and cutting it down to 7 points, taking down that double-digit lead back down to a single digit.
Yeah, great shot there from Faith McDowell. Now Abisi on the double, and Ehrman took the 3-point shot off the side of the backboard, and here come the Kestrels looking to put some pace down the other end. Agbula swinged over to McDowell. Great pump. The sidestep. Great defense there from Mulling. Another block. Her second block of this second half already. She has been an Eiffel Tower down under. Tried to kick there. It was Darengba. Now McDowell on the other end. The block, but a foul. And Faith McDowell will shoot 2 at the line. Mulling trying to get a third block already in this third quarter.
Yeah, the pace of the Solent Kestrels in transition, similar to the 18 bus from Millbrook to Thornhill and City. There's so many times you have that pace in transition. And that time, London Cavaliers couldn't get the stop. And to be fair, you can't really get a stop on there's a lot of stops on the 18 bus from Millbrook to Thornhill and City, so...
Rather a lot, yeah. I can confirm, Riven, in this city, there is a number of stops for the number 18, but...
Good transport system. Life in the city, good transport system, a nice number of stops. As the first free throw is good. And the Kestrels are going to need a number of stops to get back into this game. Currently 5 points down. 6 points down, 31 to 25. And the second one is good. Now back to a 5-point game. McDowell up to 7 and now the leading scorer for the Kestrels.
Yeah, all the points in this second half already scored by Faith McDowell, reducing that double-digit lead in half against the London Cavaliers. Morrissey drives, and now a BC so close there on the strip, but a foul has been called. Kestrel's first foul of this second half. And of course, the inbound under the basket for Ehrman, looking to try and get an easy bucket. Looks like London Cavaliers have gone with some size, putting both Bush and Mulling onto the court. Great screen by Mulling, and the push off the glass, no good. Mulling again missing there, up close. Great movement from her though to find the open space on the inside, just can't capitalise and getting the bucket. Faith McDowell from downtown, no good. Unlucky. Great shooting start from Faith McDowell, but just no dice on that three-point shot there.
Yeah, I think the 2-3 zone in the Cavaliers now has become a bit narrow at the top to negate the high post entry pass. And one way the Kestrels will find some success is stretching out the wings just a little bit, and McDowell tried to do it at that time, couldn't get the shot to go. One person who can though is Bentley in transition, like the number 18 bus once again.
Powerful run through the middle from Bentley, so controlled yet so explosive there, and able to get the finish. A 3-point lead here in the Solent Sports Complex. Morrissey looked for a deep range shot, no good, hits the side of the backboard. Great bounce pass from Faith McDowell to Kukowski, and she misses the wide open layup off the backboard. The drive from McDowell, the kick to Kukowski is no good, and a missed offensive opportunity there for the Solent Kestrels, Riven.
Yeah, good look at a layup, and it's those simple buckets. You're starting to find them, it's just about making them now. 3-point game in a 1-possession game, and yes, all those buckets count down the stretch, and the Kestrels are getting a run together. They're stringing some stops, but it's about the buckets that you make, and if you're not making those ones, it leaves something to be desired down the stretch. Missed opportunity there from the Cavaliers, and the Kestrels come down the other end. McDowell driving through the lane, no push off called. Couldn't get the rebound, could McDowell, and the Cavaliers come away with it in a pinball machine once again. Jump ball, and it'll be a Cavaliers ball.
Seems to be a little bit fiery here in the Solent Sports Complex. A little shove there as there was a tussle and a tie-up between the two sides. And the referees are going to have a look at this, have a little check, just to calm things down. Things are getting a little bit fiery here. 3-point game. And you'd think with all this electricity in the building, all this fire, there's some copper wiring linking these two teams. Looks like we're just going to continue with the action, no? Morrissey. Crucial with the ball. Tight defense from Kukowski. Some push and a shove there, and a foul is called.
Bit of a sarcastic clap there from Morrissey, I think. And it's starting to get a bit of nit and gritty here. Some emotions on the floor. And this game is starting to get interesting, Samuel. Not that it wasn't before. It's starting to get a bit more. There's more in this game now. There's more emotions on display. Especially for the big hitters like Morrissey. Just kicks it out there to Ehrman. Hounded on defense and a backcourt there.
So much at stake here at the Solent Sports Complex, and now Abisi. She understands the assignment. She understands the stakes that are at hold here. Of course, Barking Abbey with a big game later on against the London Thunder will determine the title. But the Solent Kestrels have got to do everything that they can here against the London Cavaliers if they want a shot. The Kestrels get the ball back. Kowski takes a rest for Anna Mendes. Anna Mendes in the corner, drives, takes the bump. Great steal from Mulling. Great defense from her once again. McDowell swing to Agbula, inside to Bentley. Great move from Bentley. Faith McDowell from three, no good. Great look there from Faith McDowell. She's usually automatic, and the Cavaliers won't want to give that shot up once again. Morrissey, top of the key, the screen goes the other way, the kick into the corner for free, no good. Great looks from both sides from deep, but not able to capitalise. And it's the points on the board will only build when that ball goes in that bucket. McDowell with the hook shot, hits nothing, and we continue with play. Slowing down it is here.
Yeah, both teams struggling to find their shots the last couple minutes after the breaks in play. And two of the players involved in that breaks in play was Morrissey squared, who end up getting an open shot there from Ruska. I say open, wasn't necessarily the most contested shot in the world, but made it go down nonetheless. A tight closeout and got it banked home in the end. And Wabisi tries to respond, fighting for the ball once again. Nothing doing. Wabisi falls to the floor. McDowell tight on defense on Russia. Kick out here for three. No good from the Cavaliers, and there's some real emotions on the floor at the moment. It'll be a Cavaliers ball this time.
You can just see it in the eyes of the players. We're all the way up here in the commentary box, but the fire in the eyes of all of the players right here, it's electric. You can see that both teams so desperately want this game. They so desperately want the win from this game. The last regular season game of the season. 3:22 left of the third quarter. Inside, Anna Mendes spins, goes up, manages to kick to Agbula. Agbula tries to kick to Bentley, off her hand. And a backcourt is called. Great defensive hustle there from the London Cavaliers. And it's a game of both sides. It's offense and defense, and the Kestrels need to get the buckets if they want to get back into this game.
For sure, especially when the emotions are flaring like they are at the moment. Need to keep the level head and start stringing some buckets together when you've had a few iffy minutes both sides. As Agbula falls to the floor, and a shot there from Marissi. And it's back to an 8-point game, and the game's starting to fall away here for the Kestrels.
Open mid-range shot from Morrissey, a great shot. Meal misses her mid-range. Bentley tries to save it, a bit of confusion there. But yeah, both the Morrisseys have been very useful in getting buckets on the board. And here comes one of them, no good on the lay. And the steal off of Anna Mendes. Thought about taking the shot, Mulling. Great shot over Bentley, a 10-point lead, double digits for the London Cavaliers. And you would think the Kestrels, as they picked it up, they picked up the energy, they picked up the hustle coming to this second half, but are just unable to control a sizable deficit. Bit of confusion here on the court, Riven. What do you make of this?
I think a foul called, I'm not sure on who. I think a Cavaliers player who was guarding Meal at the time off of the ball. As Jackson makes her way onto the court to replace Bentley. A bit more size underneath the basket. Bentley's had a good few minutes, but no shots for her to go down at the moment. I think no Kestrel player can really find a rhythm offensively. So just about changing things. Give the London Cavaliers just a different look We talked about into this game, Kestrels getting a result, you know, putting pressure on Barking Abbey going into their game that starts in about 20 minutes time as Mills step back three, gets it to go. She's feeling the rhythm and the vibe, Samuel.
Great shot there from Meal on the right-hand side. Took the risk, and the gamble was worth it. Morrissey wide open for free. It's good! Returns the lead to a 10-point lead for the London Cavaliers. Anything you can do, I can do better. And Morrissey showed it just right there. Spin move, Ana Mendes with the left hand, no foul called. Now it's a 5-on-4 for the London Cavaliers. Morrissey, 2 steps, good! Morrissey again on the offensive end. How important has she been for the Cavaliers?
She's been so impressive the last few minutes and over in the game in general, as we see a good layup there from Ana Mendes, but Coach Keeley preparing some changes on that sideline. Got the trusty whiteboard out and the pen. Of course, they come hand in hand, and some changes may need to be done here. Sorry, and another made bucket. Morrissey on a tear.
The impact of both the Morrisseys has been huge to the lead of the London Cavaliers, and a carry called on Nawabisi. 12-point lead here for the London Cavaliers, and an impressive offensive showing has kept them in this lead. Kick to the corner. Morrissey puts the moves, the switch. Ruza for free, no good, but it lands itself nicely under the basket, and no good there for Solent. And Meal tries to pass it off. Morrissey with the strip. Morrissey down the other end. Onak Bula, the right-hand lane. Solent collects it. What a tear of the game. 8 seconds left on the clock. Morrissey with the drive, the foul, and she will shoot 2 at the line.
All that frustration being relieved now from both Morrisseys. They've combined for 25 points. Most of those points coming in this second half, and they're starting to feel it, Samuel. You know, getting the rhythm together, finding the buckets, and the home crowd don't really know how to feel at the moment. The Kestrels have been on such a tear since Christmas coming into the game. We talked about putting pressure on Barking Abbey later, but at the moment they're going to be looking over their shoulder. 3rd place in the table, potentially, rather than 2nd coming out of the game for the Kestrels. With East London Phoenix with a game in hand, you think almost with the Kestrels potentially losing here, East London Phoenix could pip the Kestrels to 2nd place.
Not looking too good here for the Solent Kestrels, as we are soon to head into the 4th quarter with the London Cavaliers with a 14-point lead. Kestrels chuck up a shot, and we head into the 4th quarter. Cavaliers lead 47-33 here at the Solent Sports Complex. A game that's really determined by essentially who can get more points on the board. And I've got to say, Riven, the London Cavaliers have just been better at that. They've gotten to better spots, they've been more aggressive under the basket, and they've just had the finish.
Yeah, they've just simply scored more. I don't know how to say it better. Almost
It's as simple as that.
Simple as that. They've hit the tough buckets when they've mattered. They've hit the 3-point shots when they've mattered. And I think with that 14-point lead now, you think to yourself, Kestrels need to change some things again, like they did in the halftime. They need to make some personnel changes potentially again, and something overall needs to change again for the Kestrels to get back into this game. Cavaliers are now on top. They're the favourites to come away with this win now. A 14-point differential is quite big heading into the final quarter, but if anyone's going to do it, the Kestrels definitely can. You know, we saw it last week where it's both teams are quite head-to-head. You know, it was quite close, and then they ended up winning by quite a large, significant margin. So if they're going to turn around a game, they'll need to do it quickly, but if a team can do it, it's this one.
Absolutely. Well, drama hopefully to come in this fourth quarter. 47-33 to the London Cavaliers, the leading scorers being both the Morrissey sisters for the Cavaliers with 15 and 12 apiece, with the Kestrels, the leading scorer being Faith McDowell, with one of her three-pointers getting to go for the Solent Kestrels. Solent Kestrels will want to return to the court and try and reduce this huge deficit. Coach Keeley, of course, not happy with the circumstances. Maybe it's the referees, maybe it's the opposition players, the way they've been playing, maybe it's her own players. But the Kestrels will now return to the court with Faith McDowell, Jackson, Chloe Lamas, Kukowski, and Nawabisi onto the court for the Solent Kestrels.
Just to break it up a little bit, we resort back to this new segment in commentary. Fashion Watch, Andre Aerosol, fashionable as ever. Some say he's somewhat of an ever-present, model-like potentially, but thoughts on his fit, Samuel Williams?
Well, I would say, would you say that because he is a model?
It's still up in the air.
Maybe. I'll give it an 8 out of 10, but I'll give you a more detailed essay on it after the game.
Fair enough.
Faith McDowell takes the screen from Kukowski. Chloe Lamas looks to drive. Great defense there from Mulling. She's done so well to just stay upright, and that's why she's kept so well out of foul trouble. Faith McDowell with the three-point shot at the buzzer. She did not care about the sound of that buzzer. She took the shot, and the ball went. I'll give you this one, Faith. The first double digits on the team for the Kestrels. And a shot there from Ehrman off the glass, no good. Collected by Morrissey, back over to Ehrman. Morrissey drives inside, kick to Suleiman for free, no good. And here's now Abisi up the other end, gets past Rusa. The lay, no good. Great defense there again from Mulling. And a foul on the other end for the Kestrels as the Cavaliers try to collect the ball. I just want to go and talk to you about one thing. We've seen this constantly throughout the game, and I've mentioned this. Mulling has been so well at being that anchor in that middle of the paint and just not drawing any fouls, not drawing any attention. And I know she's got 3 fouls, but considering the amount of contests she's been involved in, it's quite impressive, Riven.
Yeah, she's been that rock, that island almost for the London Cavaliers. Another 3-point shot put up there, and I think a player like that is very important. Taking the attention away from the bigger stars in the team like Morrissey when they're scoring so much. If you divert attention away from them, you can catch the defense off guard as a pushing foul called on a Cavaliers player. I think it was Ehrman there, who's now on 3 fouls, and 3 points. But I mean, Cavaliers now on 3 players on 3 fouls. Not necessarily worried just yet, but it's something to keep in mind for sure. There's Jackson now in the low post. Finds Kukowski, the double big line up, and a foul called there on Kukowski. I think fighting for space and fighting for chance to receive the ball there underneath the basket, and a foul called on the Kestrels big.
What would you say that you saw there that made that offensive call be called against Kukowski? Because a little bit of one that might miss the eye of the common viewer there, Riven.
Yeah, so Cavaliers player got in front of Kukowski underneath the basket. Kukowski maybe just diverted that one of the arms away with her arm. As a shot there again for the Cavaliers, 49-36. 13-point lead. Yeah, but Kukowski just got a bit eager, fighting for some space, pushing an arm out the way potentially. It's great ball movement there for the Kestrels. Kestrels basketball to a T. Faith McDowell off the window, 12 points for her now.
So much better. We saw that so much, that ball movement in the first quarter, and it's just been lacking as of late. And it's why the Cavaliers have been able to capitalise and been so dominant here at the Solent Sports Complex with their 11-point lead. Rusa with the step back 3. No good. And it will be returned back over for a London Cavaliers ball under the basket. 14 seconds on the shot clock as Bush makes a return onto the court for Mulling?
Be somewhat of a big miss, but a good rotation of pieces there from the London Cavaliers coach. I mean, Bush hasn't had a bad game by any means. To be able to take one of your better players so far today and bring on another great big is quite important.
And maybe just to remove the threat of fouls as well. Three fouls as well down the stretch. They might need her later in the game.
Yes, especially if the game gets closer. Not saying it will, but 11 points is obtainable for the Kestrels, so it's all about rotation here for the Cavaliers. As Maurici at the top of the key. Focal points so in the second half for the Cavaliers. Bush for 3, just long. And the Cavaliers another offensive rebound and more second chance points. Nothing doing, never mind. As a turnover there for the London Cavaliers, 11-point game, 49-38.
That's the kind of fortune that the Kestrels going to need. They need those turnovers to happen so then they can get buckets on the offensive end. They need the points and they need an offensive stretch here in this fourth quarter. Faith McDowell has been called for a travel on the drive.
Yeah, Coach Keeley not happy with that one, I don't think. I'm not sure if it was the call or McDowell's happy feet potentially, I'm not sure. I think she faked one way, went the other way. Potentially just stepped out of bounds there. It's Cavaliers ball nonetheless. Maurici out to Bush, 3-point shot, no good. Bush with the ball once again. Is the ability for Cavaliers to fight for these rebounds. Just get the ball every time and get those second chance points going. And it's where the Kestrels have arguably lost this game so far. Maurici, high arcing shot, nothing doing once again. McDowell in transition, pass over to Kikowski. Fading right-handed push shot off the window, single-digit lead, Samuel.
Anything is possible, and the Kestrels are hoping that that mantra reigns true for them in this fourth quarter. Maurici, the kick. Suleiman for 3, her 4th attempt of the game, no good. Bush collects it. Great offensive rebound, but can't get the finish to give back the double-digit lead. Inside to Kikowski, loses the handle. And the Cavaliers will want to eat as much time as humanly possible.
No 8-second shot, 8-second violation called there from the referees. I thought it potentially could have been called as the shot clock went down to 15 as Ehrman was still in the backcourt, but nothing doing. Kikowski on this near side. And Nabisi finds Jackson, got the matchup on Bush. Back to Jackson. Lamas. Over to McDowell. Fakes one way, goes the other. Push lefty. Push shot is good. Good movement there from Faith McDowell just to use the left hand. Create a bit more space. 7-point game, Samuel.
Not an easy shot. Push shot with the weak hand. Great finish there from Faith McDowell. 5 minutes left. We're halfway through this fourth quarter. Chucked up threes from London Cavaliers from all sorts of places. But Ehrman makes this one count, and it's back to a 10-point lead, Riven.
Yeah, back and forth for us. It's back and forth for both teams at the moment. Lamas into Jackson. Finds McDowell. Caught back the 3. Up against the zone. Great pass to Jackson inside.
Beautiful pass.
Back to an 8-point game, Samuel.
It's that little bit of hope that kills you. It's hope and then the hope that gets killed, and then it's the hope. It's back and forth this fourth quarter here at the Solent Sports Complex. One foul apiece as well. Stripped by Nawabisi, but goes out for a London Cavaliers ball. The Cavaliers will make some changes now. Maurici, the other Maurici, taking a break, and Maurici making a return to the court. And that will be the number 7 Maurici on the court. Ruza, Dangarabenga, Mulling and Ehrman.
What is interesting, you have very similar play styles, obviously slightly similar play styles in sisters, but they are different players. It's interesting to see, you know, they've had a very similar playing careers, and how you can get 2 complete different players from essentially what who our sisters. It's quite interesting to see in how you can mould and grow into different players despite being very similar people.
The age-old question Riven Corbett's asking here on Sonar Sport. The break of the ankles there. Oh my goodness, what a shot there.
Clean up on R3. Unabisi drops the defender, gets the push shot to go off the window, and a response from Morrissey once again.
Morrissey has done that throughout the whole game.
Quicker response than next day delivery on Amazon, Samuel.
Meal. Bentley. Kukowski to the top. To Nawabisi. Great ball movement. Meal for free. No good. Not as lucky this time. Meal with the high arcing floater. No good. Bentley collects the rebound. A scruffle for the ball. I just made up scruffle as a word. Meal for free. Good!
It doesn't matter if it's a new word, Samuel. It still made sense to me.
5-point lead for the London Cavaliers. And not much to separate these two sides right now. 3 minutes, 3 seconds left. And anything is possible here at the Solar Sports Complex, Riven Corbett.
Yeah, the fans get free entry into this game, but at this rate they should have paid at least something to watch this. This is a great game on display, and get the energy up ready for the men's game later. But at the moment, it's about this game in front of us. And the Kestrels obviously need to put pressure on Barking Abbey, who start their game in roughly about 4 minutes. As a timeout called here. 3 minutes, 3 seconds left in the game. 5-point lead for the London Cavaliers. Kestrels have a bit of momentum going, but it feels like both teams are feeding off almost feeding off each other, Samuel, sorry.
Final minutes remaining of this entire game. You're Coach Keeley right now, Riven. Put yourself in her shoes. What do you ask of these Kestrels players? What do you expect from them? Of course, you're going to see both the Morrissey sisters on the court at the same time. Do you focus solely on them? Do you try and spread out the awareness of who's on the court? What would you say going into these final 3 minutes, Riven?
Well, for starters, I think my feet are quite big. I don't think I could fit in Keeley's shoes necessarily. But Morrissey, both of them have been such large parts of this second half for the Cavaliers for sure. Just making them aware of that, make it known. Obviously, the players will know how impactful they've been in this second half so far because they've played in the game ultimately. But just making them aware, when you can double team, do it. When you can force them into a difficult shot, you do it. But ultimately, you can't take away from their team as a whole. We brought up Bush, brought up Mullings earlier. Their rotation is what matters, and we might see Mullings back on the court, and we do. Obviously, on those 3 fouls that she's been brought back into the game for the final few minutes. Just making each player aware of their assignment, who they have in front of them, and how to deal with them.
Wise words there from Riven Corbett. But will that transfer to the Solent Kestrels women's side? We will see in this remaining 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. Bangarabemba. Tough defense there from the Kestrels. Hands flying everywhere. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Morrissey for free. No good. Collected by Bentley on the rebound. And off we go. Meal on the right-hand side. Agbula back to Meal. Inside to Bentley. Great spin there from Bentley. Great defense there again from Mulling. Bentley inside. Goes up on 2 people around them, but the foul is called, and Bentley will shoot 2 at the line. 2 seconds left remaining on the shot clock, Riven.
Yeah, when you have 2 defenders on you, you're better just putting a shot up because one of them bound to foul you, and that's what happened there. Great ball move from the Kestrels, but great defense on the opposite end. I think both teams are really standing up into the final few minutes. But one thing, I'm a killer for weird and niche zonal defenses, and the Kestrels look to do it there, where it looked like a 1-3-1, where that one at the top of the key defensively is hounding the person with the ball, and then can form double teams when it's in that high post position. You could see that working. You limit the space through the lane with the likes of Kukowski, and then limit the space for kicks with those wings in Meal and whoever else is on the opposite side. I think it was Agbula just
being an ever presence and making it as little space as possible on defense for the Cavaliers down the stretch. Bentley's second free throw is good. 3-point game, Samuel.
Yes, and with Morrissey, who's trying to pass the ball now, tipped away by Agbula, but it will go back to a Cavaliers ball. Got to remember on the defensive end for the Cavaliers, Morrissey is on 4 fouls. Remember, foul is called, offensive foul, and the Kestrels will retain possession. 4 points separating the two sides with just over 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, Cavaliers player just stepped out of bounds there. I think I called it a 3-point game. It's not, it's 4, which is crucial down the stretch. Heading into the final 2 minutes as we have a timeout here. 2 minutes 20 on the clock. 54-50.
And what a tight contest we've had here today at the Solent Sports Complex. A 4 points separating the two sides, and it's been much more of a barrage of points in this fourth quarter than any of the other quarters, Riven. What would you say that's attested to?
Well, I'm sure Coach Keeley's saying it as we can see them in the huddle there. I think it's the Cavaliers offense as a whole, you know. The bundle of points for the Kestrels as a response to that Cavaliers is crucial. So feeding off of the energy of realizing you're behind in the game. You have to make the difference now, get the shots to go, but the extra hustle for every 50-50 ball, getting the second chance points that the Cavaliers have gotten throughout the game. You then respond with the second chance points of your own, and every possession matters now. Every possession for both teams, defensively, offensively, taking the right shots. I keep saying get the easy buckets going, because that's what makes the difference in games like this, and we'll see if the Kestrels can get an easy one here.
Absolutely. On the court we find Nawabisi, Agbula, Kukowski, Bentley and Neal. Excitement in this Southampton crowd. Bentley tries to find Neal. Agbula collects. The lay, no good, rims out. Morrissey kicks over to the other Morrissey, to Ruza. They'll want to take their time. They won't want to rush nothing. And remember for free. Good! A huge shot there for the London Cavaliers. 7-point lead. And that's going to make it so much tougher for the Solent Kestrels. Bentley. Hands to Neal. To Agbula for free. Tries to make a response and is no good. 1 minute and a half remaining, Riven. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Morrissey for free. No good. Collected by Bentley. Another rebound for her. She's getting trapped but handles it well. Now Abisi now. Tries to pass to Agbula but stripped away. And not much time in it for the Solent Kestrels. It's going to take rather a lot. Morrissey.
You have fouls to give you for the Kestrels here. A foul wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It's almost another bucket there from the Cavaliers. Nothing doing, 57-50. 7-point game, 3 possessions. Bentley underneath the basket, potentially tripped. Nothing called by the referees either way. Kukowski falls to the ground, fighting for the ball. Jump ball, many of a Cavaliers ball, which is crucial. Not sure how there wasn't a foul called there. I know the Cavaliers player somewhat had level feet, I think, I'm not sure, but Bentley did fall to the ground nonetheless, but nothing called. And Cavaliers have the ball. 7 points, 39 seconds on the clock. And you almost feel the Kestrels will need something special here now if they come away with the win.
A tough break there for the Solent Kestrels. Bruiser has stepped out of bounds. And back over to the Solent Kestrels. Possession timeout called by Coach Kelly. 34 seconds remaining on the shot clock. A 7-point differential at this stage. At any level, you'd be questioning, can the Kestrels really get back into this? Do they really have enough time, Riven?
Coach Keeley put that T-shape up with ferocity and intent there, and I think that's what the Kestrels are trying to bring into this final 34 seconds. Something needs to be brought into this last few possessions. Get a quick bucket, whether it be 2 or 3. You need the likes of every scorer that you can field on the floor, all on the floor at once in that 5. Surprising to see Meal stands for this section of the game. Potentially bring her back if you need a quick 3, I'm not sure. But you'll need pace in transition defensively as well. You need to get players on the floor who have fouls to give, which is almost all of them. You know, Kikowski's the only player on more than 2 fouls with 3. So all the pace you can get on the floor now. The likes of Robula, the likes of Nwabisi, the likes of Mendes, who's only had 2 points so far, somewhat surprisingly. But Bentley, with every hustle, has been that impactful player as well. And you'll need her on the floor for the final few minutes if you want to win every 50-50 imaginable, in the final 30 seconds of play.
And returning to the court is McDowell, Bentley, Agbula, Nawabisi and Kikowski. Possibly the last final few plays. Don't forget, we also have the Solent Kestrels men in Division 1 looking to clinch the title against Kohler. A quick shot there from Faith McDowell is blocked. Now Morrissey, over to the other Morrissey. She's getting trapped, but she handles it well. Swings it over to the other Morrissey. Bruiser in the corner, Durang Mbemba. Looking to take their time. Kestrel should foul if they just want to slow things down, and they finally do. But Cavaliers just were able to eat as much time as they wanted there, Riven.
Yeah, you had fouls to give. You needed to foul early after the missed shot, I think. Now they've got 12 seconds on the clock. No shot clock now as well. And a timeout called once again, as Nwabisi heads on to 3 fouls as well. But you had fouls to give. I think the right decision there was foul as soon as possible after that missed shot. And now the Cavaliers can almost do what they want with the ball now.
And you were in a position where you found yourself on 2 fouls as well. So you were quite a few fouls away from finding yourself in the bonus. And those inbound plays can be risky. You can trap, you can try and be a bit more aggressive, and you can hold, and you can try and get a lucky break on the steal or even a poor turnover. So you're not even in a position where you're like, okay, the Morrissey sisters, they've been really, really accurate from the free throw range. We don't want to risk them getting the ball and going to the free throw and even extending their lead.
Yeah, I think, as I get wrapped up on my mic, but no, I think the lack of experience almost in this Kestrels team is what's hindered them now in that last possession. Just the awareness you need to get that foul, because you had fouls, that was obvious. You know, you only committed 1 foul this quarter. You were nowhere near the bonus, no foul trouble for specific players. You know, you could have taken the time to slowly edge that gap back in. When you're a 3-possession game, 7 points, you could have got a transition bucket, and then it's a 2-possession game. So it's just the awareness potentially lacked there for the Kestrel side. And the Cavaliers will look to slow this down. Another bucket here, and the Cavaliers, 9-point game. A slow roller just to eke out the time as much as possible, but a sloppy turnover there from Nwabisi. And the Cavaliers look to come away with a win here.
7 seconds remaining, and surely that's the end. Kikowski gets the tip, but she pushes Durang Mbemba out of bounds. With 0.8 left on the clock, Solent Kestrels have been unable to challenge Barking Abbey at the top of that table. And depending on other results, regardless, they will not be winning the title.
Yeah, now with, as it was an unsportsmanlike foul, Cavaliers now straight to a double-digit lead, and somewhat unrepresenting of the score of the game potentially. It's a game that was tight all the way to the end for me, and I think Now it's a double-digit lead and 11 points. I think it's somewhat representing of the game as a whole.
And we're just about to close this game off between the Solent Kestrels women's and London Cavaliers. Rolled in, Bentley fights for the ball. And that's it. London Cavaliers have come away with the win, 61-50. A huge upset from the team from the capital. And they take the win. Solent Kestrels women's are able to win the title. And other results will likely, if Barking Abbey can finish it off against London Thunder, they will win the Division 2 women's title. Of course, an unfortunate series of events here for the Solent Kestrels women's battle in the slightest way of putting it, I should say. Of course, we saw Kestrels go up 14-6 in that first quarter. It looked like the Kestrels were going to have somewhat of a good day today and put Barking Abbey in a situation to be really pressured going away and playing London Thunder, but they have lost today 61-50 here at the Solent Sports Complex. Leading scorer for the Solent Kestrels was Faith McDowell with her 14, and the Morrissey sisters for London Cavaliers combining for 29 points to come away with the win away from home. Riven, your initial thoughts after that game?
I think it was the Kestrels game to lose. You know, they went head-to-head in that first half like they did last week. London Cavaliers obviously brought a lot of energy in that second half and made the difference in the third quarter, starting to make shots you didn't expect them to make. Morrissey, both of them really made that difference in that second half. So the Kestrels, yes, somewhat could be taking that loss to heart, especially down the stretch, lost it potentially. But ultimately, the London Cavaliers brought a good game today. They were just simply the better team over 40 minutes of basketball.
I think I'd agree, and I think with the defensive end, you saw players like Mulling played so well defensively, and Bush as well. And I think also the efforts of not only both the Morrissey twins, but you saw good ball movement as well. You saw good moments, and I think it's not a game that the Kestrels can turn around and say, well, we were the better team. I think they did lose to a team that ultimately on the day did turn up today. Yeah,
I think turning up on in a game that matters, like today for the Kestrels, ultimately spreads them apart from the likes of Barking Abbey at the top of the table. Now, you know, when we were so hyper-focused before the game on top spot, now they'll look behind them, you know, with East London Phoenix right behind them. Points-wise, East London Phoenix have got a game in hand as well and potentially could edge Solent Kestrels to second place.
An unfortunate and disappointing end for the Solent Kestrels women's at the end of this 25-26 regular season. Of course, not really the result that they wanted at the end of the year, but maybe more to come, maybe for the future. And it's a young team, this Solent Kestrels side. Of course, a lot of the players coming out of the Itchen Academy system, similar to the men's side. But we look forward now, and to stay with us here on Sonar Sport, of course, you will be joined with us live once again with me, Samuel Williams, and Riven Corbett for the 6 o'clock tip-off between the men's Solent Kestrels and Kohler. Of course, we've got to remember the key point. Kohler at the beginning of the season, or earlier in the season, getting the win at home against the Solent Kestrels. And Solent Kestrels looking to clinch the Division 1 title. So if any team in this league could do it, could it be Kohler, Riven?
Yeah, Kohler have done it before. Whether they'll do it today, I'm not sure. It's difficult away from home, and they had the home stand last time. And in the game they had last time, we previously mentioned the first half of the Kestrels, they were unbelievable. Kohler brought some energy in the second half. Kestrels couldn't get it to go with a few missing players in the previous game as well. This time they've got Aerosol back. He'll potentially make the difference off of his game. Good game against Barnet. He was really, really impressive despite the 9 turnovers. But he was really, really impressive. And if he can have a game like that this week, which you can almost expect him to with the matchups they've got, yeah, it'll be an interesting game for sure.
Well, we look very much forward to that, and if that game is anything similar to that women's game, we're in for a treat here at the Solent Sports Complex on Sonar Sport. I've been Samuel Williams, joined gratefully with me, I have had Riven Corbett.
Yeah, somewhat gratefully, I think.
Well, somewhat
depends on the day.
Depends on the day.
Depends
yeah,
on the
we'll
day.
just say depends on the day. But we'll be joined with you back again at 6 o'clock for the tip-off between the Solent Kestrels men's and Cola. But for now, goodbye.